Ah, yes. Welcome inside our CBS Sports Studios. I'm Adam Shine alongside my guy, the great Kyle Long. And Kyle, I want to give some love to the Bears because there might have been, games that were sexier this week in the NFL or victories that you look at and say, oh, that's a statement, this is a statement. Let me tell you something. Chicago had a golden opportunity to beat Green Bay. They didn't. Credit the Packers. Things at the end you can criticize Chicago for. I picked Chicago to win that game. You picked Chicago to win that game. I thought there were so many positives, and what I wanted to see from Chicago this week, bounce back, look great. Don't overlook the fact that you have Green Bay coming up in a relatively short period of time now in week number 16. I thought the Bears showed a lot of heart, gumption, talent, and they are absolutely ready to take care of business. I'm just calling my shot again. This showed me that they're ready to beat the Green Bay Packers in Chicago coming up in Week 16. Love what I saw from the Chicago Bears.
I've seen enough throughout the course of the year to feel comfortable saying I felt comfortable thinking that the Bears would handle business on the road. Now, obviously, you get another crack at it next week with the Packers coming to your house, but let's dive in a little bit on today against this Browns team in some real Chicago-type weather. So the Chicago offense got to showcase today their super weapon, for lack of a better phrase, in Caleb Williams. I remember when I was in Kansas City, and it was a balmy 9 degrees, and it was a 1 o'clock kickoff or whatever it was, and the wind was whipping through Arrowhead. And I looked at Mike Kafka, our quarterback coach at the time, and I said, so are we going to change up our game plan at all in terms of what we're thinking in the passing game? And he looked me dead in the eyes, he laughed in my face, and then he pointed to a guy warming up with number 15 on it. He said, that guy throws right through the wind. Yeah. In Chicago, you've got a quarterback that can throw right through the wind. Not only that, he's getting more confident week to week. The defense showed up in a big way today. 3 points total for the Cleveland Browns, who had a 350-yard passer last week. A team not short on confidence at all offensively. And obviously, they got some real killers on the defensive side as well. 31 points for the Bears at home. Good teams beat teams they're better than. Really good teams beat the brakes off of teams that they're better than. What we saw today was a butt-whooping, old school, BTA, as the kids in the YouTube comments would say. I'll explain that to you off air.
Thank you.
But I'll just say this, the Chicago Bears, they're ready. They went and they got their water break this week against the Cleveland Browns. They get an opportunity to play the Packers at home next week. Some bully ball. If you thought Lambeau was a physical affair last week, which it was, round 2 is always more physical because you're building on last week's momentum, hatred, lack of chemistry.
100%.
That stuff's coming in a huge way at Soldier Field.
Round 2, when you play 2 times within 3 weeks, which I love when the NFL does that.
The best.
It's incredible. It's great theater, great drama. That's done with a point and a purpose. To your point, though, and I think this is brilliant, not only did they have to win, you kind of wanted to see them kick Cleveland's ass.
Yep.
They're a better team, take all the aggression out on the Cleveland Browns, and it was a total team effort. The run game was terrific. The defense was outstanding. Caleb Williams showing off that arm, that accuracy, the ability to run, the physique, the toughness. And remember, the Green Bay game, Caleb was bad in the first half. Second half, he was great. Now, obviously, at the end, we could talk about the play call, we could talk about the throw, we could talk about the decision.
Or we can move on to next week.
Bingo. And you know what? I think that because they moved on this past week with how they beat Cleveland.
They showed us that they did.
They 100% proved they've moved
No
on
hangover.
and ready to rock and roll now. And I'll tell you something else. I think a lot of people were feeling like, okay, Chicago's a house of cards, they're frauds. Nonsense. If you watch that game in that second half, they were better than Green Bay. Credit the Packers. There were 3 plays in that game where they were tough and clutch, and Green Bay earned that victory. But if you look at the signs, it's all there for Chicago to find a way to get this win and to make the playoffs and or big picture win the division. I mean, if you're a Bears fan, it's Ben Johnson and that culture, and it's unbelievable.
And you know what? It kind of feels to me like we were having a conversation during the Patriots game, 21-0. I was like, Mike Vrabel, Coach of the Year, you and I are kind of like, yeah, it's kind of a no-brainer. Well, after today, it feels like not so much a no-brainer. And now if Ben Johnson can get this team to kick ass 2 weeks in a row, Browns, you go beat the Packers at home. we could be having a different conversation. There's so many storylines at play for the Chicago Bears.
Also, when you look at the nature of the NFC, and this is why I like raising the bar in Chicago, because my goal for the Bears, I picked them preseason to make the playoffs. You want this season, at the end of the day, to say, okay, the 2026 Chicago Bears can represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. Like, that's the goal. Landscape of the NFC, right? Why not the Bears? And I don't want to sit here, oh, Adam, they just beat the Cleveland Browns. No, it's the response and how they lost. Caleb throws that pass, right? Wasn't the right decision. Didn't get enough on the fastball. The bounce back is there. The schedule for Chicago is quote unquote difficult. All these teams, Kyle, go through it. They have to find a way to beat Chicago. Like, someone might look at that schedule and say 0-3. I'm saying 2-1 minimum for the Chicago Bears.
And you know what you can look at it one of two ways. It's a mindset, as the great Patrick Mahomes used to say when I'd be there watching him operate week to week. He'd always tell his guys, it's a mindset. And I think that's a perfect way to approach these final 3 weeks. Green Bay Packers, San Francisco 49ers, Detroit Lions. Oh, you're just telling me we're in the playoffs. We're in the playoffs. We're playing playoff teams, not only just like wild card. These are playoff teams. You get in that mindset, you get in your tunnel, and you launch into outer space. And where you end up just comes down to a little bit of luck, a lot of physicality, and the Chicago Bears have that on their side this year. Like you said, 2-1. That's all you got to go. And a couple weeks ago, it was you got to go 4 out of 7. And now we're at the 2-1 mark. You beat the Packers. You look up in a couple weeks, you're going to be really happy where you're at.
Yeah, and I think they're going to go a minimum of 2-1. I think they're going to beat Green Bay. And you're right when you start talking about Coach of the Year vibes when it comes to someone like Ben Johnson.
Portion of the program. David and Arda with you here on SportsCenter. 2 things in the NFL that need some getting used to. The first one has to do with the Chiefs and an end of an era, but we'll get there. The second one is the guy that played under center for the Colts today.
Kind of morbid curiosity going into Colts Seahawks. How would a 44-year-old grandfather who hasn't played in 5 years look against one of the NFL's nastiest defenses? You're up, Phillip Rivers.
Great way to put that.
Yeah. 1,800 days since his last NFL start, and here comes number 17. I mean, what a story already. And then Rivers slings it to Josh Downs for the touchdown. Colts up 13-6 at the half in Seattle. They're whooping it up. They are fired up there. And then Sam Darnold trying to make something happen. He's got his man Jackson Smith and Jigba, and JSN gets loose. So the Seahawks in business. They take a 15-13 lead. Can Rivers lead the Colts back? Back shoulder. Yes, he can for Alec Pierce. Later in the drive, Blake Group from 60. And the Colts go back up 16-15. But the Seahawks, Jason Myers, his 6th field goal attempt and his 6th make of the day. And that 6 field goals gets it done. 18-6 get to the Raiders and the Eagles. A get-right opportunity for Philadelphia. Jalen Hurts coming off that brutal 4-interception game Monday night. Much better on this day. He's got a deep ball for Devontae Smith. That's good for 44. Eagles were up 14 at halftime. Last play of the third quarter. Hurts scrambles, and it ends awkwardly as he kind of gets rolled back. He was walking off gingerly. Did have a little time to shake it off at the end of the quarter and came back out. And on the very next play, first play of the fourth quarter, I guess he's okay because Hurts for A.J. Brown, who had just 2 targets, but that one went for 6. Hurts 12 of 15, 3 touchdowns. Eagles in a rout to snap their 3-game losing streak.
You control your own confidence. You control your own joy when there's a lot of noise out there. You control all that. And what I saw from the entire team was, for the last couple weeks, regardless of the circumstances, we've been committed to playing Eagle football and of doing the things we need to do to play Eagle football. That's tough, detailed together, and that happens during the week. If we rode the wave of the outside noise, then you're not able to do that. I just thought we did a great job these last couple weeks of zoning in on what we needed to do, and going to work every single day and not letting outside circumstances dictate anything how we feel.
Everybody's watching. It just comes with it. And it hasn't changed. You know, I think everybody needs to remember where I come from and how I'm built. So I just want to lead in the right way, set the right example. Done the same thing since I went to the University of Alabama, and you know everything that's been in front of me, so it's no different now.
Completely different Jalen Hurts this week than last. Instead of no touchdown passes and 4 picks, it's no picks and 3 touchdown passes. He also averaged nearly twice as many yards per attempt.